Hello, and welcome to episode 38 of the Cooler Guild. I am Coop Cooper, and joined with me, as always, is my co-host, Van Crisp.
Hello.
We are recording on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. On today's episode, we'll be going over the Reigns draw in Chicago, checking in with some other NWSL results, and then finishing things up with a quick preview of the Reigns' next match. But first, some housekeeping. The Cooler Guild is part of the Sound at Heart podcast network. You can either listen to us on our public feed, or if you're a Sound at Heart subscriber, on the private unified feed with the other podcasts on the network. If you'd like to become a subscriber, just visit our page at soundatheart.com/the Cooler Guild. New subscribers get 10% off the normal rate, and you help support everything we're doing.
So you're on vacation?
I mean, yeah, I'm on vacation. It's also a reunion. So, you know, having a reunion with some people that went to school, I guess you could call it, some sort of internship with my wife. Half of them are like from Minnesota, so we're having
You mean her residency?
I didn't want to tell people about that, but yeah, so her residency class.
We talk about her being a doctor.
I know. It's just sometimes I'm like, oh no. Yeah, so half of her residency class like went to medical school out in Duluth, actually, which is kind of crazy because they all ended up in Southern Oregon, but we're having the reunion this year in Duluth. So yeah, we flew into Minneapolis, obviously, and got to go check out the women's sports bar there and met up with Mark Kastner. There were so many lesbians there, obviously. It was like a bunch of Lynx fans because there was a Lynx game that like afternoon or whatever. And you know, like all I could think of when I was there, and like Mark was a little running late because there was traffic because of all the shit that was happening in Minneapolis. I was like, Mark's gonna get in here, and it's gonna be like that time when it was like Alex Morgan and a bunch of lesbians, but it's gonna be Mark Kastner and a bunch of lesbians.
Mark and all the lesbians.
Yeah, he's like, well, most of my friends are lesbians, so this isn't unusual for me. But like, I counted like the dudes in there when I got in there, and I was like, the place was packed, and then there was like 3 men, and then Mark showed up, and there was like maybe 4. But yeah, good bar. I would recommend it. Good food. Service was a little rough, but they were also super busy with the Lynx game. So, how's your weekend? How was it?
Good. My USW team, FC Oli, played on Friday. They won 6-0.
Oh, just an easy 6-0.
Yeah.
Was there a hat trick in that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
Jenny
so.
Lackey scored a hat trick. Shout out Jenny. But then Saturday, I went to the protest with my dad.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice little family outing for
Yeah,
a good cause.
got done just in time to watch the Reign game.
Nice.
Yeah, that was about it.
It's nice to find somewhere that actually plays the Reign game now. Like, you know, that didn't used to be a thing you could do when you went to different cities.
Yeah, I'm still sad you couldn't go to the Blackheart.
I know, but there's no way I was going to like go in there with all the Minnesota United people while they were like about to play.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know. It was kind of cool to be able to check out another women's sports bar because I've only been to the one in Seattle. So anyways, let's get into the game, shall we?
Yep. So the Reign traveled to face the last place Chicago Stars at Soldier Field on Saturday. A promising attacking start from the Reign was snubbed out in the 11th minute when Ludmila got the ball and scored after dribbling through almost the entire back line. Just 2 minutes later, Sam Staub played a long ball from her own box and put Ludmila through again,
God damn it.
beating out Phoebe McLaren to score Chicago's second goal. Yeah, the game stayed tied until the 87th minute when Linby and Dolo scored a left-footed shot from outside the box. The Reign kept pressing and were ultimately rewarded in the 89th minute when Jordan Bugg played a cross into the box, which had a wicked bend on it and snuck in on the far post. The game ended 2-2, and the Reign snuck a point out of the match, finishing the week in 6th place. This was a rough one. There were so many emotions in this game.
Truly. I mean, I was catching up with Mark, so like my attention was kind of in 2 places, you know? But then like, no, I don't think anyone else in this bar was there for the Reign game besides like our table. Yeah. And so I was just like standing up when like the first goal happened, and then like the second one, I'm just like yelling even harder. And like everyone's just kind of looking around at me because everyone else was there was like very much more invested in basketball, and they were all very happy about the New York Liberty finally losing.
Yeah, my friends were at a different bar than the one I was watching the game at. Which is great. 2 places.
Yeah.
But they were like, oh, you should come over here at halftime. And I was like, do you guys have the game on there? And they're like, we'll put it on for you.
Nice.
And I was like, sick. Yeah, then I'll come. So then I went over to this other place and I was like, yeah, it kind of blows, but like still watching it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I was just like freaking out.
Yeah. They also totally came out looking different in the second half.
Yeah.
I don't think I was feeling down. But like
they didn't look bad in the first half. It was those 2 instances really where they just got absolutely just scorched.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll get into it later. But yeah, I don't know. It was the one thing that I was like, we gotta look out for Ludmila. It seemed like they didn't get that memo.
Which is so funny because like everyone at Sounder at Heart and Ride of the Valkyries, I feel like everything that was written, even the podcast we did last week, like it was like
our
Ludmila
podcast. Yep.
Ludmila.
What happened?
Everybody's like Ludmila, and then boom, we
and
got
then
Ludmila.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into a couple of notable stats that we hit. 70th regular season goal for Lynn Biondolo, second player to reach that milestone. Sam Kerr's the only one who has also done that, and it's with 77 regular season goals. I mean, we know she had the 69th goal because we noted that at one point.
I know.
I was like, I'm keeping track. But yeah, incredible. Keeps going. It's going to keep going. She's definitely going to pass. She's got to pass Sam Kerr this season, right? Like, do you think she's going to get going?
I would hope so.
It's been so long since we have like a high scoring goal scorer on our team, and I feel like it should be Lynn this season.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's tough because it's so inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of hard to make any predictions this year other than like really broad ones. But she has it in her to do it this year
for sure.
So the Reign are now unbeaten in their last 4 road matches and earned 11 points out of 18 possible.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
How many points did we end on last season? It was not good. Let me look it up. I need to like keep this on our sheet every week because I know we are improving significantly.
Yeah, we have way more points than we did at this point last year.
Let's see. Standings 2024. Oh boy, here we go. We ended on 23 points last year. It's so bad. Yikes.
Oh man, that is terrible.
And so far we're
5 points away.
All right, making progress. We have some positives. I mean, this game was brutal, but like we have positives for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Number one being, I think it was maybe our third game where we scored more than one goal.
Yeah,
and we did it from coming from behind.
And coming from behind 2-0.
Yeah.
Which is the most dangerous lead in soccer.
You know, I tell my friends this that don't really follow soccer, and they like laugh at me when I tell them that. They're like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, because it can change. It
can change, and also because you have this like false sense of security.
Yeah.
But even if you give up one goal, you're already screwed.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho. We are the first visiting team to avoid defeat after trailing by 2 or more goals in the 85th minute.
Making history, baby.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad about it, and he's like, yeah, I saw early on that they were down by 2 goals, and then I checked in. I was checking in periodically in the game, and then boom.
Yeah.
It was 2-2.
Yeah, by the end. Yeah. They came fast, and they came quick right at the end. They also looked like they were definitely going for a third.
Yeah, I mean, that sub that they made, bringing Mercado on for McLaren, just completely changed the shape of the team.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want to see more of her for sure.
Yeah, the subs were incredibly productive.
Yeah.
And I think G and Meza came on at halftime, which Laura Harvey halftime subs. What? That aren't for minutes restrictions.
Yeah.
Right, praise the soccer gods.
It only took going down 2-0.
Yeah, I didn't quite get why you didn't start Meza and G. Maybe trying to give your younger players more time.
I mean, we were playing Chicago, right?
And you're playing Chicago, so. But
I don't know. It didn't work this time.
It didn't work. That's for sure. It did not work. But G led the team with completed passes in the final third with 23. Mercado, she came on, and I think in the first 5 minutes she had created 2 chances.
And she was hardly she came on late.
Yeah.
Game changer. I've been wanting to see more of her. I didn't know that she had this kind of stuff in her. Exciting.
Yeah, I kind of wish she had scored that last opportunity she had though. It was a decent save, but.
Yeah, but I mean, she was only on for what over 10 minutes or so with added time. I guess it was a little bit more.
Yeah.
She came on the 79th minute, so it's impressive work for her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you expected Damas to come in and change the game, but like Mercado hasn't necessarily been given an opportunity in that kind of sense where they're really, really trying to go for it.
Yeah. And I think Adamas played well.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I mean, she hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
I mean, the crossbar was like our biggest enemy this game.
Yeah. I mean,
other than ourselves, but
like the 5 minutes where Ludmila.
You mean the 2 minutes?
Yeah, not even 5.
And then, we got to talk about Sam Meza.
Our number 1 fave.
You can't not love her.
Yeah.
And with her and G in the middle, it just gives so much ability to hold the ball in possession and be able to keep the team up in the other team's half. Because otherwise we're losing it, we're recycling it back. But with those 2 players in, you just have the ability to find open space and win the ball back when you lose it.
Yeah, they were super dynamic when they both came on together. And I feel like this is the first time I kind of see them both. I mean, I don't know how many times they've kind of... Because I think we all know G hasn't been on the field as much as, I don't know, you would hope someone of her quality was on the field. But we also know she's older. But I feel like this is the first time we've kind of seen G and Meza kind of cooking together and kind of being dynamic together up top. Maybe not at the same exact time, but working both sides of the field, or like one of them kind of covering the other one in a sense.
And it's easy to see the impact that they have when, they're subbed on together.
Oh, yeah.
And they start, and you're able to, compare and contrast the first half and the second half.
Yeah. It was nice.
It was nice.
Other positive I put down was Laura Harvey's energy. She's fired up. I mean, I don't feel like there's another coach in this league that like loves her team like Laura Harvey loves this team.
Did you see when the camera cut to her after the second goal and like Phoebe McLaren?
Yeah, her and Phoebe are like embracing.
Phoebe McLaren just looks tired and like she's been on the sideline like working out like she was still playing.
Yeah. They were just like fully embarrassed and couldn't believe what was happening, but like they were so fucking pumped up. And to have a coach like that that's as passionate as the players like that is so, I mean, it's contagious. And it's just, I don't know, I feel like it's got to be so fun to have a coach that like you play for someone like that.
Yeah, and we consistently hear that from players.
Yeah.
Just the care and the passion that she puts into the team as players and as people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, one thing we always missed when she had left initially.
Yeah.
And now we have it back and you realize how nice it is.
Last positive I didn't put it down, but we had been doing this thing where we win and then we lose the next game.
Yeah.
We didn't do it this game. So granted, I think we definitely should have won going into this, but given how our track record has been this year after wins, you got to start somewhere, positive. So I'm happy about that.
There's that, and there's just, I feel like the team was much more offensive this match, which granted you're playing the last place team, but there were multiple looks on goal, multiple close calls. Mm-hmm. If any of those other ones had gone in, it would have been a completely different game.
Yeah.
But you've got Jordan Bugg hitting that same exact cross that she scored in the first half, in the first like 3 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm. Trying the same things and actually finishing them at another point in the game. Yeah. Yeah.
So
we do have negatives, obviously. Mm-hmm. This was not a good start to the game at all.
No. Very disheartening.
Number 1 worst thing to happen. Getting Ludmila twice. Back to back, so fast. Unhappy face is what I put in the notes. Not great. I don't know what the fuck happened.
We got Ludmila.
Yeah, but like
everybody's getting stuck too far up because you see it when you've got, especially on that second goal.
Yeah,
right. That ball comes through. Her and McLaren.
Yeah,
are with each other.
Yeah,
in the other half.
Just launches it from the goalkeeper too, like.
And to Phoebe McLaren's credit,
she kept up.
She kept up with her. And it's just so hard to defend somebody that's that quick. And it, she kind of makes a last minute ditch slide tackle effort and
didn't get a red card. Didn't get a penalty. Like she was very smart about it.
She could have. There was a point at which you saw she was starting to grab her, and then it was just like. Oop.
Yeah, she was very careful. I mean, she got out at the right time.
Yeah. And, it was really smart, and it was a great play by Ludmila to just kind of pull that ball to the side when she saw Phoebe McLaren was sliding in.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just an excellent goal.
Yeah.
Claudia Dickey did look kind of lost in that second one, but that's a hard thing to defend all in all.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got
so
a player, especially when you've got a player so close to that attacker, because you're coming out and you see Phoebe sliding and you can't really go through your own player. So it's just a tough one. But
growing pains. I mean, these are goals I really hope. I think they'll see them and they'll learn from them. I don't think it's gonna be like a repeatable thing.
Well, maybe not in another game. It was repeatable in this match.
Hey, listen, we did okay against KC and their threats, and we did pretty okay against Orlando and their threats. We just defense severely underestimated or just completely turned off at the wrong moments with a threat like Ludmila. So
yeah, it was unfortunate.
Yeah,
we did. Those were 2 goals scored in the run of play. So after all of our talk last week about not getting scored on in the run of play, I thought this was kind of funny.
Yeah.
And getting beat on the counter, it's just another one of those things where you have to think about playing to your opponent. And it's really hard to make that adjustment so quickly right after she's just scored.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's tough, and it makes sense that happened twice in that short a period of time because they hadn't been able to adjust.
Yeah.
But also that ball by Sam Staub was just brilliant. So I'll give him credit for that one. But it also didn't help the team. Well, maybe it did. I don't know, when Barnes went down injured.
I mean, I had said last week, I was like, I don't know what the team's going to do because they're definitely going to have to change formation. If Lou Barn gets hurt or something happens with someone on the back line, they're going to have to change everything up. And it did happen. And then we did figure things out. So I don't know. It's hard to read into it.
And I mean, Shea Holmes stepped in and did a decent job.
Yeah, did a good job compared to a lot of the flack we gave her. So yeah, she stepped in.
I thought she might just be down for like just a injury break.
Yeah.
And then they panned the camera over to Lou, and she's like doing the cut off kind of thing. And I was like, oof. Yeah. That's not good. No. Hopefully it's nothing big.
Well, she'll miss 1 game, but then she'll have a month off. So yeah, if there's any okay time to have a minor injury, might be right now. Hopefully she is good, but
It was also an unfortunate thing, and I would say a negative to the game, that Ludmila had to come out.
Yeah, it was. She put her body on the line in that moment, not in a great decision-making way, for sure. You don't want to see a player go like that.
If you didn't see it, Sally Menti was taking a free kick from outside the box, kind of the corner outside the box, and two-person wall, and Ludmila got up. She jumped super high, kind of got her head in there, and it looked like the ball just hit straight on the top of her head.
I mean, she put her head down to hit it, too.
She just went down, and it didn't look good.
Which someone on the broadcast team was pointing out, like, why would you put such a valuable player in that wall like that?
Put valuable players in the wall all the time.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, too. She's clearly got the ability to... Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's not like... Yeah, I guess, but then again, Chicago doesn't have a lot going for them. So I don't know.
You got to get somebody back.
Yeah,
and generally a 2-person wall is not going to stop a ball.
Yeah.
So
just unfortunate.
But there was more unfortunate announcing this game. I watched the. Oh, wasn't I can't remember which. I watched the local broadcast.
There was Fox was airing it. Well, Fox was airing it, Ion was airing it, and then
Ion.
Okay, you were watching Ion. Okay.
I was watching the Ion broadcast the first time I watched it, but I didn't have the sound on. So I was in a bar. And the second broadcast I watched when I rewatched the game was the NWSL broadcast.
Oof. Same here.
The NWSL broadcast, that guy that they have on there, the British guy, Gary Bailey, after the first goal, he was calling Ludmila Mondesir.
Yeah.
2 different teams. 2 vastly different haircuts.
Yeah. Is there... Yeah.
I just feel like that's a microaggression.
Yeah, it's not good.
Maybe I don't know.
He did correct himself pretty quickly afterwards, but I don't think you should be... Like, that's a pretty bad mistake to be making.
Well, and he was also saying, like, after Barnes got injured, that maybe they replaced her because they needed a more physical player on the back line.
What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know. It was bad.
Yeah, not here for it. Don't like that. Yikes. Do you have any other negatives you want to hit?
Well, we did have almost losing to the last place team.
Yeah. Which is embarrassing. And then the people will be like, oh, it's NWSL, so like anything can happen all the time, whatever. But we're better than Chicago.
Yeah, much better.
I know the Soldier Field element, I think, was maybe the part of the elements that were something that you don't really know how that's going to play out. And I don't think, like I've always said, Utah's the worst team. I know Chicago was in last, and now they're not in last, thanks to us, unfortunately. But I've always said Chicago has some, like with Ludmila specifically, I think she can take over games for them. If they had Mal Swanson, then we're talking about an even more threatening team. But yeah, I don't. Again, how are we going and beating the top teams? Number 1, number 2, getting close to beating Orlando, whatever, and then we can't beat the last place team, like win against them. I don't. I'm getting annoyed with it.
Well, that's what I was saying about the inconsistency.
Yeah,
and it really comes down to not scoring, which luckily we were able to come back and score 2 goals in this game, but you need 3.
Yeah, you also need to not give up on
at least you need to give up
those
not
goals.
2 of the same goal.
Yeah. Yeah. Fixable mistakes, I would think and hope. I'll leave it at that. Moving on to the post-match presser. They brought on Curry and Holmes. Did you watch these?
I did.
Okay. What'd you gather from them?
That they were glad that they tied the game, but they were mad that they tied the game. Basically what we're saying. Yeah,
I think it seemed like the thing that I was saying, like they were just glad to not continue the pattern of losing a game after winning. So I think it's something for them to build on and at least give themselves belief the next time they come out with a win, and then they can go into the next game not real thinking like, oh god, it's gonna happen again, we're gonna fuck up. Stay focused, you guys got it, I believe in you.
Yeah, but they're just talking about the mentality of the team and how they are grit, one word we've been using a lot. They have grit, resilience. They did talk about the defense could have helped better with the 1v1 that ended up with Phoebe knowing that the counter was coming. Well, that's what you have to work on. That's the adjustment that you have to make. Mm-hmm. Not leave her out of position and just line that up to begin with in the first place. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for the players. Harvey kind of said the similar things. She's saying that they should be proud of themselves. They showed resilience, the mentality aspect. I mean, you saw her on the sidelines, like point to her head and do that mentality thing, like great job or whatever. It was after the goal, right? Yeah.
After the first goal.
Yeah, like stay focused, you guys got this or whatever like that. And you tell like when Lynn scored that too, like she didn't even, I mean, obviously they were down, right? And it was late in the game, but like you could just see her. She's like going to get the ball. Like we're gonna keep going.
She points to somebody to get the ball.
Yeah, like
she points to somebody to go get the ball.
Yeah,
and I think I only saw one person raise their arms, and it was in the very bottom of the picture, and it was Sam Meza.
Yeah.
You see, I watched it a couple times as I was like, who's celebrating? Like I need who is anyone celebrating, or like are they just like dialed in? And then you can just see Sam Meza like at the very bottom of the screen go.
Yeah. And then I think the funniest part was she asked her. I mean, I did think Jordan Bugg should know better, but she asked Jordan Bugg like, "Did you mean to score that goal? Did you mean it?" And Bugg was just like, "No."
She's a kid, man.
I know. An
honest kid.
I know. She doesn't have that. I don't know. After I've been hearing the comments about Sally Menti and her, I don't know if it's just like jokes and cockiness sometimes about wanting to be called like KDB and Kevin Durant. But I feel like she would have been like, oh yeah, totally meant to score that. But Bug's a stoic presence and an honest person, it seems like. Maybe, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But next time, Bug, maybe just pretend that you meant it, even if you didn't. I don't care, because it sounds like she can do this based on what they were saying about her training.
Well, I mean, you look at the shot, the movement on that ball.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me if the goalkeeper should have done better on that second goal. And I went back and watched it, and it's a tough call either way. Mm-hmm. Either you come out and get that cross, which if it's in your 6, realistically, most of the time you should be doing, even if you do that, there's so many people in that area that it would be hard to get to.
Yeah.
And when you're kind of trying and waiting to get set, when it gets really close to, I think it's Haidama.
Yeah, Haidama's ready.
Yeah. And it just doesn't hit off anybody, but it's got a curve to it that you just probably wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It was a good goal. It was a good Schross.
Schross.
Love a Schross. Do you get anything else out of the Harvey comments?
No, I mean, she commented that the subs were good. And I liked how she was talking about how she told Lynn to stay up high at halftime.
Mm-hmm.
And defenders are scared of her.
Yeah, they are.
I would be.
Yeah, she pointed out that Lynn kind of set the tone at halftime too. You could tell, and I would like to see more of this. I want to see more of this Lynn taking over this team.
The Lynn leadership?
Yeah, but like, you know, because like we had that with Pino, and obviously she was at the club since the beginning, so I think it was obviously easier for her and more natural for that to happen, you know, later in her career or whatever. And obviously that is going to happen with Lynn, but she has it. She's. I think we can see that from her too with this team. She hasn't been here long, obviously, but I don't think there's any reason why she can't be that person for us.
No, and like we've pointed out in the past, she's totally bought in.
Mm-hmm. Which is what you need.
And so that's the kind of person that you want leading your team.
Yeah.
Or being a part of that driving force in the locker room.
Yeah. It has me excited. I mean, I've been saying that, but like she loves this game, and I think she's going to make this team more fun. And if they're doing that and playing for each other, then there's a lot of potential for this team to make some really exciting stuff happen.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. I think, do you want to add it? Do you have any other final thoughts on this match?
Nope.
No?
I'm happy we didn't lose.
Me too. I'm like ready to kind of move on from it though. Especially since we're not
I mean, it was nice to have an exciting comeback.
Yeah.
I wish the team hadn't put themselves in that position to begin with.
For sure.
But it was really nice to see a team
they didn't lose their composure.
And they did get frustrated.
Sure.
But it never looked super sloppy or desperate.
No, I mean, I can like picture how this game would have gone last year, and it would have been ugly. Very ugly. We definitely weren't going to get a point out of it.
Definitely not. And Jalen Howell would have been red carded.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe there would have been 2 red cards, honestly, in this game. Because I think there's a few other things. I think like Phoebe might have been a little. I don't know if Phoebe would have gotten a red card, but I think the like frustration definitely would have been worse.
Well, I think maybe last year Phoebe wouldn't have been so confident in the goalkeeper, and she might have felt like she needed to take her out.
That's true.
I think there's a fair point there.
Yeah.
So, nope, that's it. That's my final thoughts of this match.
Okay, we're going to move on to Cooler Player of the Match. Cooler Player of the Match is brought to you by The Doctor's Office, a great little 12-seat bar on Capitol Hill. The owner is a big fan of the rain and is proud to be our very first sponsor.
Cooler Player of the Match this week is the subs.
I was going to make a submarine noise, but I didn't know what that sounded like. Bloop, bloop.
I was going to say implosion.
Oh.
I just watched the documentary, okay? Anyway, shout out to G, Sam Meza, and Maddie Mercado.
Our
and
notable
also,
subs.
Huh?
Our notable subs, at least. Because, I mean, there was others, but those were like the real... I mean, Shea Holmes stepped in and did her thing.
We didn't get scored on after she came on.
Exactly. So, to all the subs.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks again to our sponsor, The Doctor's Office. The Doctor's Office is the best place to grab a drink before or after a rain match. Try their NA Rhubarb Citrus Shrub, a seasonal shrub featuring rhubarb, pink peppercorn, orange, lemon, and lime, suggested with a pour of Plymouth gin as a highball, if you want to make it non-NA. Check out their Instagram at TDO Seattle, or better yet, go drink there in person.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Click.
Thank you for listening to the Sounder at Heart Podcast Network, which now includes No Sarietes, Lobbing Scorchers, and the Cooler Guild. We've been independent since August of 2023, but need your support to make sure it continues. Although this podcast is free, it's only made possible by your continued support. Memberships start as low as $25 a year, which not only helps make podcasts like this one happen, but also gets you access to everything we produce. If you're able to support us at higher levels, starting at $75 a year, you gain access to a host of other perks, Most notably, entry into our members-only Discord, where the smartest, funniest, and most engaged commenters share their thoughts and ideas. To find out more, just visit soundritheart.com and click the subscribe button in the top right corner. Thanks for listening.
There's a lot of goals this weekend.
There was a lot of goals this weekend.
Yeah. I didn't get to catch all of them because I'm, as you know, in Minnesota right now. Did go watch the highlights, a bunch of highlights yesterday. Did you watch any of the Houston-San Diego game?
I did not.
Okay. Houston lost 2-3. San Diego's doing their thing still, scoring lots of goals.
I did watch the Utah Gotham game.
Oh, did you? That looked like a shit show. I
rewatched that one because I wanted to see what happened. But Gotham beat Utah 3-0. It was kind of a shit show. Astaire scored a beautiful header.
Mm-hmm.
Open the scoring.
So good. How is someone so small so good at that?
The way she gets ball side on headers on the near post is like needs to be studied.
Yeah. She's so nimble.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And just the way she's able to like manipulate her body to place the ball. It's
great.
It's amazing. And then Jalen Howell scored.
Mm-hmm. Good goal.
And good goal. And then Astaire scores again.
Penalty.
On a penalty kick that might have been one of the best penalties I've seen in years.
Yep.
She, number one, blasted it, and number two, placed it just inside the post and bounced in.
It was clinical. It was great.
Yeah. And then Jess Carter get a red card on a dog-so call.
It was, I saw the case for it. I did see like when they were kind of playing it, when I was watching the highlights, they were like just showing the beginning of it before it got called the red. And I was like, there's another defender there. They were really far away from her though. So I guess it was the last defender.
And I do see because at first I was like, that's a BS call. And then I was watching it again and again. Mm-hmm. And number one, you have, I can't remember who it was. Might have been Freeman back there.
Yeah, I'm not
covering.
Sure.
But she wasn't, I mean, she could have gotten there. But if the attacker had gone through,
mm-hmm.
there's an obvious goal scoring opportunity on her first touch there.
Yes.
And so I think you have to call that.
Yeah, I thought so too.
If it was further out from goal, then it's a little bit more questionable. Yeah. But she was so close that And then, so it was outside the box, so they didn't get a penalty, because it was a red card. So it was outside the box. They didn't score off of it. Utah doesn't score off this opportunity. And then Jalen Howell gets a second yellow.
This is like I would say like the Jalen Howell goal with the Jalen Howell double yellow is like a Jalen Howell brace. A red card and a goal, right?
Hitting for the cycle.
Yeah.
And it was, I thought this was an interesting moment because the center referee doesn't initially see it. The player goes down and yells, but the center referee doesn't initially see it. So she comes back for the injury and you see her kind of conversing with her assistant referee. I don't know if it was the fourth official or the lines person, but she consults with them and says on top of the foot. Yeah, because when Jalen Howell came in late and just absolutely cleated the top of the foot, full step. And so, that's a second yellow, if not a red. And so she confers with the lines person and pulls out a second yellow, which I think is amazing because you're not allowed to review yellow card offenses. They don't go to VAR. So the fact that they got this right, and it was conferring between two officials, I think that's great. Shout out them.
Bay, Orlando 1-1-0. Not much to say there. KC, Louisville. KC won 4-2. Funny part is that KC scored 3 of their goals by the 19th minute, so it was kind of over by like the second half.
The fact that Louisville got 2 is pretty incredible, honestly.
Yeah, and then I think the last KC goal was kind of at the end too, just to kind of really make sure it wasn't going to maybe turn out to a tie. But yeah, KC's still, I guess the fraud watch is maybe over.
Yeah, I mean
we did beat them.
Always fraud. Did you watch the highlights for the Angel City, North Carolina game?
I did. Weird game. Mostly
very weird
because they did like bookends and goals.
Yeah.
right? So the first goal, Courtney Vine, which I love Courtney Vine, scores.
I love her. I'm glad she's doing well. But do you see the ball into her on that goal?
Yeah.
Manaka plays this ball in and it curls around.
So good.
Curls around. So the defender's on the left, Courtney Vine's on the right. The ball's coming from the left-hand side and it's weighted so perfectly.
Yeah.
Curls around so Courtney Vine to slide in and score this ball.
Yeah, it was good. North Carolina's got good players. The chemistry has just been lacking this season, but that play was beautiful. Granted, Angel City clearly hadn't woken up because that goal was before the first minute was even over.
It was quick.
It was so quick. I mean, the minute wasn't even up on the fucking time. So, and then the second goal that North Carolina got to get the game winner was Pinto subbed in the 88th minute and then scored in 90 plus 5. Which I think there was like 6 or 8 minutes of added on time on that, something like that. But yeah, kind of embarrassing for Angel City because North Carolina have not been good at getting results.
No, that was quite a surprise, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Did you watch the Washington Portland game?
No.
Someone scored a good goal, didn't they? Like a little flick. Wasn't there a flick goal? Like a little nice... Who cares about Portland, all right? But they beat the Spirit, who is... I hope they both lose, I guess, was when those games happened. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the week on NWSL. Things are looking okay, I would say, for the Reign going into this break, because we're coming up on a decent break. Standings-wise, let's take a look what we got. Reign are sitting in 6th place. We're 1 point behind Portland. We're only, 6 points out from 2nd place?
Mm-hmm.
Or 7 points? I can do math. 7 points out from 2nd place. So that's not too unattainable to, make a few more moves later, but things are definitely tight. I don't know. It's a fun season.
Yeah, and there's only 3 points separating out of playoffs to into playoffs.
How many people are tied on 15 points?
Well, there's a bunch of teams tied on 15 points.
Yeah. It's heating up. All teams are able to reflect too on this like break, so that's going to be really interesting to see how everybody comes out of it.
Yeah, and see what. Hopefully, there's not a bunch of injuries in the break.
But there'll also probably be moves, right? Probably get some moves.
Yeah, there's been a couple players in Europe signed to NWSL teams.
If the people play well in the Euros, I imagine some people might be signing some deals too. So
yeah,
fun times.
It'll be interesting when we get a big break after the next game, which the next match is at Utah. Saturday, June 21st, 2 p.m. on Fox 13 Plus with the local station and NWSL Plus and Paramount for the non-local folks. Utah's record is 1-9-2, 5 points in last place in standings.
This is the worst team. It's not even close. I mean, I know the standings will say it's close to Chicago, but like Utah, I don't see it. I don't see this getting any better for them.
No.
So this is like we're going to elevation. That always makes me a little nervous. But Harvey's familiar with there.
Yeah, she coached there.
Yeah. And Utah is also coming off of a pretty brutal loss. So they weren't. I don't know. We should beat. Every week we're like broken records. We should beat them.
Yeah, we should beat them by more than one goal.
Yeah, we need to go into this break on a high note.
I want to look dominant in this game, and I want the result to show that as well. That would be my hopes for this match.
Yeah.
But it's the NWSL. It's never easy.
No.
But I would like this team to go to break feeling like they've made a good amount of progress.
And set themselves up well.
Mm-hmm. And these are the teams that you need to be stealing points from, because realistically, they should be easy points.
Yeah. I mean, if they get a point, Laura Harvey had pointed this out, if they're, like maybe the goal is to be undefeated in June. So if they get a tie, they would accomplish that. But get greedy.
I don't think they're going to be happy with a tie in this game.
No, definitely not. Everyone knows how bad Utah is.
Yeah.
So turn it up. Do you have anything you want to, or you're like eager to see with this game or anything?
I want to see, well, the availability report will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Euros travel is looking like for people. Notably, Fishlock was out this week.
James Turner. Haven't seen her for a bit.
James Turner. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. I want to see Lynn keep getting goals. I want to see her get into a groove.
Yeah.
And, just kind of find her way back into that. And I mean, she has it. It's just the opportunities that haven't necessarily been there for her. And I think having her up top and feeding her the ball is a viable opportunity for her to score. And you saw that more in the second half when we had more players in the midfield that were able to control it, that she was getting more touches on the ball and they were getting her into more dangerous areas.
Yeah, which I think it was a reasonable idea for Harvey to start the players that we saw the week prior, right? Given the success that they had, but given how the Chicago game went, let's bring back Meza in the starting lineup.
Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing. Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I think again, I just want to see Meza. I could be into.
What do you think they're gonna do with the defense?
I don't know if they're gonna do 5 back. Did I like Darlene in the back like that again? I don't know. I think I'd rather see her up top again. I'm always saying that, but I do think Utah's a vulnerable team. So like, let's put her higher up and let her. I don't know. She seems to really be trying to be a game changer. I can see like moments of her kind of maybe having some frustrations about it. Like you see her go down and sometimes it's legit, sometimes maybe it's not, but like she's definitely like interested and wants to be a game changer. And I think her best place for that to happen isn't in that back area. I think she needs to be up top with Lynn. I would like to see her on one side, Lynn in the middle, and then Montesir on the side on the right. Because I think there's a good threat there. And then Meza maybe cooking over there too. I don't know, man. That right side, when they can get Curry going too, is really fun to watch. If they can switch that play over from Curry to Darlene and get her kind of feeding Lynn the ball in, that's something I really want to start to see cooking.
I love that Curry gets spicy.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Like she's a dynamite.
I mean, we knew she would be, but now she's really starting to feel it. I like it. It's great. I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, there are some reservations that sometimes she fouls in the wrong spaces. That's a legitimate concern.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we've gotten scored on because of it multiple times. But I think it hasn't happened recently. And I like that, she takes the foul to stop an oncoming attack. Mm-hmm. It's deliberate and it's smart. Mm-hmm. And she can cook on that side and she can put the balls into dangerous spaces. And another thing I think with the Darlene situation is I think they might have put her on that side to match up with Lou just because of her speed. Mm-hmm. So putting her on that side with Lou, maybe to add some coverage, because that's what didn't work when they were starting Shea Holmes out there.
Yeah.
With Lou. So I understand the choice, but I think you have to set the team up to score a bunch of goals in this game. And to do that, you need players in position to be fed through, to break the lines, to get Darlene into space, to get Lynn the ball. So you have to have those players up a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if they change the formation.
Yeah.
And I would honestly welcome it.
Same. Cool. Well, I think that's all we got for this week. Hopefully everything sounds fine. Everything sounds fine. I mean, I'm stumbling my words, but sounds fine for Minnesota. But yeah, it should be back northwest after this episode. Any shout outs for the week?
Shout out my USLW team. The power rankings came out today and we are ranked 3rd in the country. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Got a game tomorrow. I got to go down to Eugene. Staying the night there? Yeah. Cool. You gonna go hit up some team outing. I'm the bus driver. Miss Frizzle? No, the game's late, so we'll get in early and then kind of dink around maybe a little bit. We'll get in early, dink around, players will rest. I don't know. We have been doing shutout donuts though. So which we've done the last couple years, especially in our away games when we used to travel to Oregon. We'd always find some voodoo donut that was open at 11:30 at night when we were passing through and get donuts for the kids. But yeah, sounds fun. What about you? Any shout outs? Shout out to my friends whose house I am in, I guess. Honestly, the color of your shirt with the green background is actually really doing it. Great. I'm just in the middle of where am I? I don't know what town this is called, but it's just like a 1970s Midwest home.
with like the split level, you know? I'm in the basement level, and then there's the upstairs. But you know what I mean? Talking about you walk in, there's stairs.
It's a split level.
Yeah, just a typical split level. But yeah, so shout out to Carly. I'm sure she's not gonna listen to this.
have a shot of Malort for me while you're out there.
Oh, they don't. No one has Malort out here.
Oh,
we're not in Chicago, which I was like, we have Malort in Oregon. Like, what the fuck? And they were just like, we don't like Malort. And I was just like, well, we're going to a liquor store tomorrow, which we have to go. They don't sell any hard liquor in the stores or beer in the stores in Minnesota. So we're going to liquor store tomorrow. And then we were like, we'll get a bottle of Malort. And they're like, don't get Malort. And we're like, we're getting Malort. So people are getting Malort, but even if they don't want it. Yeah.
I love Malort. I follow them on TikTok.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I do like it. I am a fan. Anyways, thank you once again to our sponsor, the Doctor's Office. And as always, you can follow us on social media. We're on Bluesky and Instagram, Cooler Guild Pod.
You can send us an email. We love an email. That's thecoolerguild@gmail.com. You can also visit us on the main website, sounderatheart.com/thecoolerguild.
We're also on YouTube, youtube.com/@thecoolerguild. Wherever you're listening, please go rate 5 stars. Till next time, I'm Coop.
I'm Van. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Stay cool, y'all.
Stay cool.
The Cooler Guild is brought to you. Oh, shoot.
Rewind.
I'm on vacation. The